Hey, it's Arthur Images, and today I want to show you the video workflow I've developed for sports videography. Okay, so we've all seen it, and if you're a sports videographer, you know what I'm talking about. You're filming, you get a good highlight, then the next frame you put your hand over the lens, and then you just film a dark frame. We all know what that's for. It's so that when you put your card in your camera, you can just go and look for the dark frames, and then the frame before or the file before is the highlight that you want to import. Well, this is slow. And when it comes to sports, speed is everything. And I've developed a workflow that I've borrowed from my time and my experience in sports photography. I've implemented the same thing into sports videography, and I want to show you what I've got. The first thing you need is a camera that can protect or lock your files. Now, a lot of modern DSLRs have an ability to, when you capture a photo or capture a video, you can play back and lock or protect that file. So on the Nikon cameras, this is super easy. On the Nikon Z6 III, in the top left-hand corner, you have this button that by default is set to lock a file when you're viewing it in the playback mode. The next thing you want to do is set up your roster file. So here I've got our women's basketball team. And as you can see, this is just a text file, .txt file. And here are the jersey numbers on the left. And it's one tab space over to the right. And then we have the players' names. So first name space last name. And then what I like to do is put the jersey number in brackets at the end. So this is the whole basketball team. And I'm going to show you how this roster file comes into play in the workflow. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want is a piece of software that can detect locked files on your memory card when you put it into your computer. The software that I use is Photo Mechanic. I've got this memory card here, and this is from the game that I shot last night. So I'm just going to put this memory card into the computer. Photo Mechanic will detect it, and there we go. So here on the right hand side, you want to make sure this field is set to copy locked photos only. Now don't worry that we're working with videos. This is still going to work. Once you have that set up, set your primary destination. I've got a temporary folder I call dump. What I like to do is just ingest everything to the dump folder, tag them there, and then move it to where I want after the fact. Now, once I click ingest, it is only going to import the locked files. The ingest process is complete, and Photo Mechanic just gives me a little notice that it's done. One of the things I want to quickly show you is the benefit of locking your files. We're just going to open up that folder in the memory card. We're just going to click. And as you can see right here, 220 files on that memory card. And here is how much we ingested, 67. So of 220 files that I shot from 2 basketball games last night, 67 of those were keepers. And I didn't have to go through all 220 files to look for black frames. I think that's the beauty about this. It's just like once you have this system set up, it automatically just picks your keepers. And I think that's a game changer. Now, Photo Mechanic calls this file a code replacement file. So we want to make sure that file is set. So we're going to go to Edit, Settings, Set Code Replacements. There we go. And then this is going to show up. So we're going to hit this button here, Add, and we are going to navigate to our code replacement file. So I'm going to start by using our women's basketball file. We're going to hit Open, and we're going to hit OK. So the first couple files that I have here are of women's basketball. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the I button. And where we're going to be working is in this persons shown field. Now, exactly what it says, we're going to tag this file with the person shown. So let's get out of that for a second. What I'm going to do here is play this file. All right, that was a steal by player number 1. So I'm just going to hit I on my keyboard to just get me back to the metadata template. I'm going to click in the person's shown field. And what I'm going to do is type \1 and you can see what happened right away is that it took that code and replaced it with the name from the code replacement file. And that's the beauty about this workflow. It just makes that process quick and simple. I didn't have to type out the entire player name. I'm going to hit space dash and I'm going to add my contextual tag, and that was a steal, so I'm just going to go steal. And now I click this button, save, and move to the next photo. Or you can see that on the tooltips, it shows the shortcut keys. So I'm using a Mac, by the way. So I'm just going to hit Command and square bracket to the right. And I move to the next file. And then I'm just going to hit Command Enter to just go back to the viewer to play this file. Spacebar to play. So that was a layup by number 5 plus an and 1. And let me show you how I'm going to tag that. So I'm going to go I on my keyboard, and I'm going to go /5 close slash Alexa in Word space dash layup plus and 1. And that's a good description of what happened there. I like to keep the descriptors to 2 max, sometimes 3 if it depends on what's happening. But the one thing with your descriptors or your contextual tags is make sure that they're consistent so that over time your workflow doesn't break. We're just going to go ahead and tag all these files, and when we're done, I will show you what we do after that. Okay, so I've just completed tagging all 67 files, and now I'm going to show you what I do next. So the next thing we want to do is rename each file with the person's shown field and add that as the prefix. So if you click in each field, you want to take this field shown, person shown, and we want to rename this file name up top here. So what I want to do is take person shown and add it at the beginning of this file name, keeping the original file name at the end of each file adds as a natural sequence to avoid having duplicate file names. So we've already got all the files tagged, so we're gonna hit Command A to select all, and then we're gonna go to Edit, and then we're gonna go to File, Rename Photos, or you can see the shortcut here, which is Control M. So I'm on a Mac, I'm gonna hit Control M, and now we have this little dialog box popping up here. So what it's saying is it's gonna take these 2 variables to rename the files. So Photo Mechanic has this powerful feature called variables, where you can take any variables from this list, which is very long. We're going to use persons and the file name base, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hit rename, and watch this. All the files are now renamed to the person shown field, so they're renamed to the tags that we've tagged them with. Now this is awesome because this means now all my files and all my highlights from that game are searchable. I'm not going back to the card to look at the unprotected or the unlocked images or the unlocked files. If I didn't lock it during the game, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to format that card once I'm done. That keeps the storage on my drives at a minimum, and it just keeps me focused on making sure I stick to my workflow. So if I'm doubting that, oh, I don't know if this is good or not, lock it, make the decision afterwards. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change my sort type to capture time. This is just going to organize all the files based on the time that they were captured, which is important. Make sure the time in your camera is set to the current time that you're in, and that will help when you get to something like this. So I'm just going to go through all these files and find the first file from the men's basketball game, which looks like, see here, is it women's? And this is a man right here. All right. What we're going to do is then select all these files. And because I have everything in my dumped folder, I'm just going to create a new folder here. And we're just going to call this men's basketball. And we're just going to drag and drop these files to that folder. And then I'm going to create another folder for women's basketball. And I'm going to then select all of these files and drag it to that folder. And there we go. My dump folder or my temporary folder is now, it's clean, it's empty, it's ready for the next ingest when I go to shoot another game. So that's my workflow. When you do this over and over, it gets faster and you really kind of memorize how to do all the shortcuts. And by the end of the game, within about 30 minutes at the end of each game, all the clips from that game are tagged and renamed. I get a lot of requests from teams, players, coaches, even the leagues, asking for specific video clips or specific highlights from games. And all I need to be able to do is pull my phone up and just go into Frame.io or Dropbox or whatever cloud system you use and just search that player's name, that coach's name, pull it up and send them a link. Like, this is what makes you valuable as a sports videographer, in my opinion. Managing your digital assets is sort of like what I pride my work on. This method, I think it's pretty robust. Once you tag those files using the file name, which is a very universal way to search for files across multiple operating systems, whether it's Mac, Windows, Linux. If you edit that file name, you should be able to search for it. So on a Mac, and we've got all these file names here, and then I am just going to go in here and I'm going to search carrot. And then we're just going to make sure, there we go. We've got 4 files of carrot. Photo Mechanic creates these sidecar files called XMP files where it keeps all that metadata in with each file. And those are fine. They're very small. They don't take up much size. As you can see, this one's 3 kilobytes. So there you have it. That's my method when it comes to my video workflow when shooting sports. I hope this helped you. I hope you were able to, get some interesting ideas from it. And yeah, if you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, just, let me know, send me a message, and I'll be happy to respond. So I'm Arthur Images, and I hope you enjoy this video. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.